Hi, I'm Jeff Zeig. I'm the founder and the director of the Milton Erickson Foundation. This is part of a series. It's a series that the Erickson Foundation is offering complimentary. It's 5-minute tips for improving your therapy practice. The topic for today is grief. Now, grief is a tricky emotion because when somebody is feeling something that is uncomfortable, they can begin to think about the opposite. For example, if you're sad, you can think about, okay, I can be happy. It's a clear target, sad, happy. If you're tense, you can think about relaxing, okay, tense, relax. If you're angry, you can think about being calm, you have a clear target. But when somebody is grieving, the target isn't clear. So how could we think about grief? We could think about grief as an arrow without a target. There's an energy there that needs to be dispersed, but it's not clear where that energy goes. Now grief is a primary emotion. It's something that's built into the system. When we lose something, lose a family member, lose a pet, lose an opportunity, lose money, there's going to be an automatic response of grieving. Now normally what therapists say is, work it through. And work it through is the watchword that therapists use, even people in the community use, about working with grief. But it's not really satisfactory because it doesn't tell you what to do. So what I advise therapists to do is they can think of a ritual. What is a ritual that could be used that helps people to modify their experience of grief as they carry out that ritual? And there's many different ways of creating rituals. One ritual that I commonly use, an integrative ritual that I learned from Gestalt therapy, is 3 R's. R, R, R. Regrets, resentments, and appreciations, both specific and general. So perhaps in a therapy session, I would have the lost object. Could be money, could be a person, and I'd have the person express, specific and general, resentments. I resent that you didn't say I love you enough, very general. I resent that you didn't buy me a birthday gift for my 30th birthday, specific. Regrets, specific and general, and appreciation, specific and general, until those have been emotionally felt and there's a way of saying goodbye. Now this ritual from Gestalt therapy, I don't know how many times I've used that in various forms, both with myself and with patients. I remember one loss that I had that to me at the time was devastating, and I spent a month writing out regrets, resentment, and appreciations, and then I was on a trip. I had to do a climb. I knew that I was going to take my lists on that climb and I was going to disperse them to the wind. You could bury them, you could archive them, you could take your list of regrets and resentments and appreciations and put them in some kind of a plastic so that they're memorialized forever. So depending on the person, they find a ritual, and this ritual has the implication of, okay, it's time to do something to say goodbye. Now I can remember a patient who I was working with, and she was a woman in her 70s. She came to me for another problem of losing weight, and suddenly she had a grief reaction to her mother who had died many, many years before. Well, the woman was an artist. So what I asked her to do was to find a stone. Phoenix, Arizona, we have lots of them, a stone that represented her mother, and that she was to look for just the artistically right place to place that stone. And she was to come back and tell me 2 weeks later where it was that she placed the stone. Well, she found a place in a neighbor's yard, and she snuck out in the middle of the night to place that stone exactly where she wanted. And that served as a ritual that could help her to absorb her grief. So I invite you to think about things, to understand grief as this arrow without a target, and to help people to create personalized rituals that will be their way of being able to have a punctuation mark that puts some end to the intensity of the grief that they're feeling. Thank you so much. 5-minute tip: improving your therapeutic effectiveness from the Milton Erickson Foundation.